Hello everyone, and welcome once again back to Global Space Program .23 here in a lovely, lovely day where we can just about make out the moon ahead of the sun there for back to school. Now last time we got a bunch of science points from landing things on the moon, remote little lunar probes. They are gaining a bit of a reputation because I also managed to get one of them to Minmus. Evidently, I just keep underestimating these robotic probes. But that one pushed us just over the values that we need to get to another level in the tech department. So, let's take a look and see what we can get. We can't afford anything on this ladder because that's 160. But anything unacquired over here so far, which is... let's see, just these four. Advanced construction, advanced flight control, space exploration, and landing. We can afford one of those, and I think we're going to go with space exploration, because it gives us these two parts on the sides here. So one of these is a thermometer, which is a reusable science equipment piece, so we can slightly get back to spamming science. The other is the mobile processing lab, which is new in this update, and it basically allows you to increase the amount of science you can get out of a single transmission, as well as reset some of the single-use otherwise science components, such as the mystery goo and the environmental unit. So I'm going to go with this, and then I think, hot on the heels of our apparent capacity to get things really where they're not intended to go, we are going to see if we can land something on Minmus. Again, something that's intentional anyways. So let's open up our RL Moon 2, and let's add some reusable equipment to it. So you can see this thing's fairly standard at the moment. Lots of solar panels, because we learned last episode that having a limited number of them is a bad idea. And wow, these are tiny little things, aren't they? Okay, so let's grab 4 of those, so at least it is symmetrical. And we could grab one of these, except that it's pretty big. It's basically about the size of the landing section itself, and it also requires a crew of 2, and a fair deal of power. But let's see, the mobile processing lab was developed to help increase the amount of science we're able to do in the field. Instead of needing to haul samples all the way back to Kerbin, the mobile lab will allow you to process these samples on site. This model is guaranteed to spontaneously combust less than previous models, and also has the equipment necessary to clean out and restore functionality to inoperable experiments. Crew capacity 2. You have to have 2 Kerbals in here. And as you can see rotating there's the little crew hatch just passing by. But that's probably more for our next mission, which I'll get to in a little bit. And there's one thing that I keep forgetting to do, and that is add an action group to run all of these, so that we don't have to worry about it. Let's add a secondary one for this to log the temperature. I imagine the temperature is going to be fairly low on Minmus and the moon and such, but there's also the press mat barometer later on. And let's call this remote lander to Minmus 1. So updated with temperature data. To grab that a little bit. There. Perfect. Save. And launch. So, I'm pretty sure I'll remember... This is going to be more or less things you've already seen up until at least I start getting into orbit. But, as is the standard case, gird your ears in case I've forgotten to edit the sounds on this. So, 3, 2, 1... Okay, we are turning a little bit, but we're also turning back thanks to those little fins, which are doing as a courtesy here. Now, this is something else from the news section. I don't think I've mentioned that, is the tweakables. I can turn various degrees of this off if I need to, but we don't really have to worry too much about it. I just need to keep an eye on that solid fuel until it starts to run out, and then we can stage to get rid of them, and then stage again to bring in some more stuff beneath it. And then, more or less, all of the solid boosters will get us to pretty much into orbit, and then we'll top up with the little 909, I think it is, at the bottom here. Let's see if I can grab it. There, I think that's it. Yeah, T30. 909, I think, is another step up. But we don't need to worry too much about that. And that one is not going away for some reason. Why don't you want to go away? There we go. Yeah, Kerbal, still in development. Occasionally there's a bug. But let's see, we're about halfway done with our solid fuel. There's every possibility that I've accelerated this footage up until I'm getting into orbit, but I suppose you will know after me right now, but not me in the future who's editing this, so you'll know after I do, but not this me, so... Time, ain't it a funny thing? Okay, 1/4 left. And of course, time is a very interesting thing when you're in space, because you can get to some very high speeds, and as I would hope, all know, the faster you go, time slows down. So there's an idea that if you could get into a decent close orbit around a black hole, firstly, you'd be traveling very, very fast to actually have that kind of orbit without falling into the event horizon. And then secondly, you have the gravitational dilation of the black hole itself, which is basically the largest we're aware of. Okay, stage, get rid of those. Probably stick some rocket maxes on those. But it is not too necessary. And we need to turn to about 90 degrees. Then you could basically, if you manage to get very close into an orbit of a black hole, then you basically get a massive ton of time dilation, such that, let's see, a week or something like that on that kind of spacecraft would be approximately a whole year on Earth. And let's get rocketing, because that tends to give us a little rotational torque as well. Okay, see how we're doing. Periapsis is still climbing, and we are spreading over, that's good. So I'm just going to keep an eye down here while this runs over. And then once the apoapsis gets close to about the 70,000 mark, I'm going to start tilting over towards more or less horizontal. I can still see the solid fuel ticking down there rather quickly. But this should finish itself up quickly. So let's see, there's 50. I'm going to start turning. Approaching 60 now. The more fuel I save here, the easier it is to get to Minmus. Although, with that said, the RL Moon 2 that's on Minmus actually has quite a bit of fuel left. Okay, over you come, away from there. Okay, so let's get that into orbit. My tip is usually to wait for these to start flipping around, because that generally means that they are about to switch places, which means they're about equal. Or at least as close as you'll get. I'm not quite sure why that managed to be over 60 on that side. Probably because I put this a little bit behind. 55. 75 and 75, perfect. Okay, so let's turn this, which is now quite a bit lighter, over. There we go, and it's also a lot more capable of controlling itself, because this, the T30, has thrust vectoring. Of course, we're still a little bit floppy because we've got this this weirdly shaped poodle in the back, well, in the middle rather. And so that is a 59-second burn. Call it 29 seconds. So that will be another minute and a bit. So let's fast forward a little. We can't fast forward too much because we're actually out still inside the atmosphere until we hit 70,000. Okay, less than a minute. And 3/4 of a minute now. Let's turn that down a step at least. And a reminder, if you have not played this game before, as I know I have quite a few new subscribers, great to have you all. If you are time accelerated, you have 0 control of your craft. Okay, and burning. Okay. So there's our delta V ticking away. It's kind of odd that they give you this delta V marker showing you how much delta V is left in a particular maneuver, but there isn't actually any in-game way of seeing how much delta V you have. I used to use the mod Kerbal Engineer, but I haven't gotten that into 0.23 either yet or at all. I'm not sure. It's kind of interesting how I keep tremendously underestimating my rockets here. But I suppose it's sort of similar to how in the manned cockpits you can see the radar altitude, which is the distance to the ground as opposed to sea level, which you can't see inside the actual HUD. It's a strange one. Maybe they'll add that later. There's been quite a few people who say they should. Okay, we are coming up nicely. Okay, as it stands, the only one I have installed is Universe Replacer, which gives us this lovely looking Kerbin, as well as a few other planets. All of the clouds. Okay, we are now hitting orbit. 68, 69, 70. Okay, get rid of that. So that is our orbit, and now we need to set fire for Minmus. So let me set as target, and let's see, our descending node, we're off by 6.2 degrees, and it is mildly more efficient to correct those kinds of things by doing it in the same burn as you moving out. 3.2, 2.9, okay, 1.2, 0.6, 0.5, 0.3, 0.1, we'll take that. Oh, hello, we had something there. Moon. That's a bit too close. Okay, there we go. So that gives us a new encounter, but that is quite a bit off. So let's rotate and see what we can manage. Oh, that's giving us extra solar here, well, extra planetary. Actually, is that Kerbin escape? Yeah. Okay, ooh, that's a long way off, isn't it? Yeah, there is a lot of fiddling involved. What is the altitude on Minmus? 46 million. That is at 34. Okay, so there we go, we're getting closer. There we are, there's our capture. Well, there's our meeting anyway. And that is very, very short. That is, that's 10 minutes. Can we get that a bit longer? Okay, that's quite a bit better. We shall take that, and it's also a free return trajectory, because as you can see, we have our orbit altered and it comes right back to Kerbin. So if this misses, then we are still going to be fine. That's about a 940 burn for about 24 seconds in 19 minutes. So let us get on target for that, and then we will fast forward, and hopefully we won't have the same problem that I had the first time I tried to go to the moon, which is that I end up pointing right down the barrel of the gun, so to speak, and the poodle engine cuts off my power. But as it sounds, we actually have a fair bit of fuel left in the T-30, and the poodle is very efficient. Okay, so we are presently there. Let's swing around. And also, my advice is be very, very ginger and careful with your time acceleration, because in more than one occasion I have hit it a step too far and gone right past my maneuver node and occasionally into the planet. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's step it around a bit. And we're looking for the 24s. The G-Force doesn't really do anything at the moment. There are some mods that will make it actually kill Kerbals in the cockpits if it's too high. But certainly it doesn't matter for us, because we've only got just a simple probe model, and oh dear, we need to make sure that we get this right the first time. Oh, and now speaking of which, we need to burn. Because we don't have much in the way of power, and the engine that we're presently using doesn't... No, no, it does generate it. Phew! Okay, so that brings me back to our Komarov episode, where we can generate power as long as we're burning our rockets and generating thrust in that direction. Okay, but there goes the T-30. So on to the Poodle. I'm generating a lot of dead mass around here, aren't I? Hopefully I can figure out some way to reduce the amount of debris that we keep leaving behind, but it is an unfortunate necessity of space travel that to go really far, you need to drop as much weight as you can en route. Okay, we are moving in. So let me just shuffle that thrust down, and we shall see what we get. So there it is coming around. Minmus encounter, Minmus escape, 5 hours apart. Oop, nope, I've screwed it over. Okay. Oop, hello. Okay, let's go with that. It's shaky, but it gives us our free return. And we still have over half a tank on the Poodle engine. So let us move out. Get our nice scenic shot as we fling away from Kerbin. And there is that the moon? Yeah, that's the moon intercepting the sun. Or rather, Kerbal. And isn't that pretty? And yeah, that is just music, a symphony of the spheres there, I'd say. Okay. So let's go a little bit faster, and hopefully we're not going to run into the moon there. Although that may be slightly assisting us, I'm not sure. And hopefully, yep, there goes the moon. Bye, moon. Hopefully we should be able to spot Minmus, but it is quite a ways out still. And look what it does to our orbit on the way back. Wow, basically tilts it 90 degrees. Oh, and there's Tylo and Lave. Those are part of the Joule system, I believe. Okay, where is it relative to us right now? Oh, it's behind us, okay. So it is... I have no idea. Ah, my telescopic eyes aren't functioning today, okay. So, there is our apoapsis before we hit into our encounter. And once we hit our encounter, we have to burn at the periapsis to capture. And then we have to be very, very ginger as we attempt to land. But we should be very close to it once we are ready to come into our encounter. Yep, that's still Kerbin, spinning away. And no sign of it yet. Whoa, 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 whoa. Did we just miss our... What just happened? Well, I did say... we just missed our entire encounter with Minmus. Wow. I can't even see it anymore. There it is. Oh, Minmus. Ah. Oh well. Do we actually have an orbit? If we do, it's not much of a periapsis. So, sadly, these things happen, especially if you're talking and chewing bubblegum at the same time as generators. So... hello, Kerbin. A wayward explorer is returning home. Or maybe we can grab something here. So let me hit our action group, if I can. Will it let me? Oh no, because we're in time acceleration. Point free science. I can ignore that. Zero science, zero science, zero science, zero science. Nothing from that. How about temperature scan? Can't be done right now because we're not near a planet or in an atmosphere. So, well, so the RL Minmus 1 is an accidental failure. So next time, next time we shall see if I can actually get it there. Oh well. These things happen. A good 80-90% of craft shot into space tend to fail in some fashion or another. But with that in mind, I shall catch you all next time. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and or favorite. Follow me on Twitter and subscribe to be notified of future updates. You can also check out the website where most other content is uploaded. That's all for now. Catch you later.